you guys is, how are we feeling after all of that? Have we recovered? Are we panicking a little bit, or are we feeling okay with what we just witnessed? It was stressful. There's no doubt that it definitely was stressful, but we got through it. And now we can kind of relax a little bit and breathe deep, because it was definitely a game there where we were. I was panic. No, we're not quite panic, but we were definitely worried. There's no doubt about it. We were definitely worried at times. So I need nominations for man of the match, people. That's what I really need from you here. I need to give you guys to give me some suggestions on who we're going to look into our man of the match nominations. I personally think that Paul de Villiers has to be on the on that list. And other players, I thought Damian Willemse was good. Very, very efficient in his tackling as well. I thought that Bowen Fent had a very good first half. Ruan Nokia was exceptional. I think we got to look at him in the mix there. Jesse Creel was very industrious as well. So let's get into our man of the match things, and we'll start to go into our predictions. Yeah, who was your man of the match? Options are De Villiers, as well as Nokia, as well as options here, people. Pollard was the official man of the match, which I said I think he was very lucky he managed to come back on, because he was not having a good time when he got hooked just after half time. But goes to show that class can be permanent. So it was really, really good signs that from Pollard and the likes. So I think in general we'll be quite happy with what we saw there. But who else are we going to go into this? So I'm seeing Willemse. Let's throw in. I'm seeing Grant Williams as well. So let's put in Grant Williams, and I'm seeing 3 different things for Pollard. So we'll put in Pollard as well. So you'll start that over there, and now we can get into our player ratings. So let's start with Bowen Fenter, shall we? Now, I thought Bowen Fenter probably had the strongest game he's had in a Bok jersey. I thought that he was really, really good. 7 out of 8 tackles. Played a very big part in that try, the second try we scored, where he basically managed to hold Kobus Visa on his back, throw him forward, kept him as the as the support play, and I thought that he got around the park and got through a lot of work. So I was very happy with what I saw from Bowen Fenter. So I'm at an 8 for Bowen Fenter. I thought it was his best game yet for the Boks. Where are you guys at? Are you guys agreeing? Are you disagreeing? Are you thinking maybe that's a bit generous? What is your thinking there? I'm going to go with an 8. I was very impressed. I mean, I've got fan rates, so just do a bit of a refresh there. Make sure you guys are getting your ratings in over here, people, because it can't just be me giving you a rating. It's got to be a team effort here, so that I can see how far I am off you guys, and whether we are on the same wavelength or whether maybe I'm completely off. Because some people say I don't know what I'm talking, which is maybe fair. If you guys disagree, then make sure you guys get your ratings in, so that we can disagree politely and go through it. But I'm going to give an 8 with Bowen Fenter. Did you guys give yours 6.6? You see, I think that's incredibly harsh. And I think this is where props are underappreciated, criminally underappreciated, in fact. Bowen said they took Bowen off too soon. What else are we saying about Bowen Fenter? Bowen says it has to be a Safa then Paul, but really Tupolotto should have got 100%. If we're doing a whole thing who played well, then Tupolotto was on a different level. But I thought Bowen Fenter was very solid. Johannes Kovala was all right. Decent. Got through some work. I don't think it was the strongest game, but he was all right. We got lineouts after the first one, which is a bit sketchy. Did get a bit better. So I think a solid 7 from Johan, and you guys going with a 6.5. So guys, I think it's a bit harsh. I think people are underestimating how well we had to play to get that result. I really do think we are underestimating how good Scotland are, how big a result that is. I mean, I think right now that is a harder team to beat than the French side of the last 2 weeks, for example. Even the way that Ireland played, today against Japan, which wasn't spectacular. So that's what I'll say. I think we need to really we need to really give the Scots their flowers. And just because we didn't maybe walk to a victory doesn't mean that players played badly. I think we had to play very, very well today to get the result that we did. And I think that's exciting. I really, really do. So yeah, I mean, what are the thoughts about that? So I think that's harsh on Bowen. Bill Colo had a couple of good scrums. I don't think didn't manage to do as much around the park, but scrummaging is his main sort of thing. Now, I thought that 6.6, so getting a similar thing to what Bowen Fenter got. And yeah, it's an interesting call. I thought that Bowen Fenter was substantially better. Where's he says the mic's going soft and loud. It's a bit weird, so I'm not entirely sure why. Hope you let me know if it kind of fixes it out. Kubas Visa I thought he was having quite a strong game before he went off, and maybe a bit unlucky to have gone off early, but I thought a solid 7 from him. Was getting around the park, getting through some decent work. 6.5. See, everyone's going quite low. I think everyone has said, I think that we're not giving Scotland their due for how well they played. I think we're being a bit harsher. Tell you what, this guy was immense. Ruan Nokia was absolutely spectacular. I'm at least an 8, if not a 9. I think, 13 out of 14 tackles, 5 carries. The line was good as well. A couple of good line breaks, even the chip over the top there. Maybe I'm feeling generous, but I'm going to give him a 9. I thought it was really, really good. 7.7. So apparently I'm in a good mood. I just think that we had to play so well to beat a really good Scottish side, and I like to reward players with that. I think that this performance was so much better than last weekend in many ways because we were pushed. Yes, the line break tries weren't maybe as good, but at the same time, we look at last week, we conceded tries as well. And, maybe different types of tries, but I think in many ways I feel this is a better performance than what last week was, and we can't just give players bad ratings because we don't think that Scotland are as good, because I think they were very good. Paul de Villiers, again, I thought he was tremendous. 6 carries, 52 meters, 14 out of 14 tackles, really, really good at the breakdown as well. So I'm going to give Paul de Villiers an 8. If he probably deserves a 9, to be honest. 7.6. You guys are not far behind. Tian says 9 for Ruan. He said must be Phil Tian really getting after his Ruan Nokia shot. But I mean, fair. I think he was sensational. I think he's become such an important player for the Boks. Pieter-Steph du Toit. I mean, this man he's just inevitable. He just doesn't stop. This Pieter-Steph du Toit. I'll give him an 8. You guys have gone 7.4, and yeah, I'm a big fan. Paul reckons, Block and Kiwi Dad reckons Paul's an 8.5. Said Pollard with BC team beat Scots with 42 points to 18. All the next day is silent, hopefully. Well, I think, again, I'm sorry not to be that person. I think if Andre Pollard hadn't come back on, I think he would have been in trouble for his player ratings. And because he had a very, very tough first half and then a very good second half. And it goes to show how you got to respond to things. And he responded very, very well when he came back on. Added a bit of calmness to it. Evan Lewis, one of his better games. I thought we did definitely. He scored a try. Definitely saw him getting into it a bit more. And I think that today was a step forward. I don't think, for the first time, I'm not looking at an Evan Lewis game and thinking, I think you might have taken a step backwards with your Bok prospects. I think he was solid. I think he was decent. So I'll give him a 7. I don't think he's as good as Paul Rivers, Pieter-Steph du Toit, but I did think that he was good. Ambrose Appear, well, first try was really good. All in all, I thought very solid. Took his try so well. Box kicking was pretty decent. Couple nice clearances. I think a very composed return back to the mix there. So I've gone a bit low. Could have actually given him an 8. I think an 8 would have been deserved for Ambrose. Pollard, well, he's an interesting one because his tackling was pretty diabolical. In fact, I don't know if the 3 tackles he made I actually probably missed. He did top the point scoring chart with his 10 points at the end there. They're still obviously updating. But he was the man of the match. So, but to be honest, I'm probably at an 8. I mean, I don't think he was sensational. I think that he came on in the second half and really improved. In fact, I think a 7 is probably more where I was at, but with his with the second half performance, pushing him up to an 8. But yeah, I was a bit worried about him in that first half because he just didn't look really there, to be honest. And And I think that in the second half, it was a bit more composed and had probably suited him a bit better when things got a bit more solid. I think Bertune is very right in saying a 7.5 for him. I'd actually probably go and probably change this to a 7 if I'm going to actually export my ratings. The more I think about it, the more I really wasn't impressed with him, especially in that first half. But I suppose maybe what he's showed is that coming on towards the second half, that's maybe what he needs to be. So maybe the calmness off the bench is now the role for him. Ethan Hooker, I think a solid 7. Didn't get as much ball in hand as he probably would have liked to have given him. 6.8. It's probably the closest we've been so far. Damian Willemse, I thought really good. 2 offloads, a fantastic try. Maybe not quite the game last week, but last week he was absolutely sensational. But I just think some of the cover tackles he made, I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was so reliable. We probably need to get him more on the front foot, and I don't think that we ever really. And ironically, on the live stream, I was saying we need to get our backline more into it. And just after that, we saw exactly that. We saw a bit of a break, and we saw Damian Willemse getting into the mix. And when we saw him get that opportunity, I mean, that try he scored, for example, he still had work to do, but he's just a clutch moment player. You know, if I had to choose a player to play for my life, I would back Damian. He's made for the big moments. And that try he scored was such an important time. Speaking of important tries, Jesse Creel as well. Slipped a couple of tackles, but was very good at leading that rush defense and kind of stopping their hit. Very important try as well. Again, all the stats just coming through at the moment. But I'll probably give him a solid 7. I think he was good. And he showed a lot of good leadership as well out there, which was important. Edel van der Merwe, I think, didn't really get the chance, unfortunately. So, I mean, I'll probably give him I feel like it's a harsh 6, but it didn't do much wrong, but didn't get the opportunity, really. I think he'll be disappointed. He didn't get more ball in hand, and he didn't get more chances to kind of prove himself and make an impact. He's somebody I really hyped up, and I said I'd love to see what he's going to do with the opportunity. But again, Scotland didn't allow us to get into that free-flowing, much like we didn't see Ethan Hooker get lots of opportunity with ball in hand. Apelele Fassi, now I thought Apelele Fassi, unfortunately, was pretty poor. I thought, again, when he came, when towards the end of the second half, he had a couple of better moments. But I thought that I thought that he wasn't great. I'm going to give him an average 6. We've seen much better games from Apelele Fassi. Yeah, 5.9. He's the lowest we've gotten so far. It wasn't a great game from him, and we've definitely seen him have much stronger games. So, yeah, room to work with. I mean, obviously, Damien will go back to 15 when we need him. Jan-Hendrik Wessel, solid impact off the bench. Maybe not as impactful as we probably like to see from him. So I'm going to give him an average 6. Instruga, a couple of nice carries. Got over the advantage line. Shorter game there. I'll give him a 7. I thought when he and the scrums were in fact, I think that's a bit harsh. Zach Paulson, well, the man scored an important try. Very, very important try. So I thought he was very good. I'm going to give him a 7, especially because the man got his first try. So I'm going to give him a 7. Guys at 7.3. So we're pretty close over there. Vincent Suka, well, Shane, the guy came on, made some very important tackles in a pastoral play where we didn't concede, and they went off for an HIA. So unfortunately, I'm going to give the standard 6 because he was only on for about 4 minutes in the end. Albert Lowe, man, scored a try. Couple of good carries as well. I'll give him a 7. Decent impact off the bench, which is good to see. Grant Williams made a couple of important tackles as well. So also, I think a solid 7 from Grant is where I'm at. You guys got a bit more there. And Quine Horn, I was very impressed. Very, very impressed. Malabong was saying if Horn continues like this, I'm not so sure about Pollard. I mean, Quine came basically on at 10. They were going to back him at 10. For the entire second half, basically. Then we had to shift because of the injury to Ethan Hooker. But I thought that Quine Horn really stood up today. It made some important tackles. Didn't get to carry as much as he'd like to, but solid. Also got 2 points off the boot. So I was happy. So I'm going to give him a 7. I thought that he took a step forward, and his Bok not rating, but I think his value has gone up after this game, which is really, really good to see. Rassi, in terms of his performance today, I mean, the bench, there's no doubt the bench made a difference. Probably considered too many tries. I think a 7 in general. I think we made a couple of brave decisions which came off. It definitely wasn't our best performance. You guys kind of going with there. But lots of learnings, I think, from this game, which is the main thing. In terms of man of the match, I have going to award to what you guys have decided is the top one. I'm going to close off the vote, and you guys have decided that Paul de Villiers is going to get man of the match. So you're going to select him there. And that is where we are with that. So that then, obviously, once you sort of submit all your stuff like that, you then basically generates an image, and you can go and share your image. So if you have not done it, go right now, and because a lot of you guys say, no, this is too high, this is too low. Well, go and do yours at the end of the day, because this is mine. And you guys can go and do yours, and then we can kind of compare. And you can say, no, you're bloody wrong. Are you mental? And I can look at yours and say, you're wrong. Are you mental? But at the end of the day, it all comes down to what everybody kind of thinks and believes within themselves. So that is, we suddenly managed to miss to Ben Jason Dixon. Not sure how he managed to miss that. Wasn't phenomenal. The yellow card was quite costly. Didn't cost us points, thankfully, but it cost us a lot of momentum. But that's what I'm with my player ratings. And some of the comments over here before we wrap up. Emmanuel says, Paulfin is building momentum nicely. Ian says, don't think we appreciate Pollard's performance. I think you're just overhyping Pollard's performance, if I'm going to be brutally honest. He was good, but let's not act as if it was a masterclass. You know, he came on and was much better, but he also came on after being pulled. Emmanuel says, we won so rusty in 8 because we won by 14, still made changes. Jerry Flannery 6, he needs to earn his pay. I think it's such a difficult situation to be in. I'm going to have to wrap up now because we're going to go into the press conference. But please do come and join us soon. We'll have the Scottish press conference up first, followed by the Bok one. We'll see you guys all very soon. Thanks for watching.